Sigmund Freud is known as the father of psychoanalysis, but what was his life really like? He was born in Europe in 1856 in Freiburg, Moravia, which is now Pribor in the Czech Republic. He was originally named Sigmund Freud, but he later changed his name. He was the son of Jacob Freud and Amalia Nathanson, who was his third wife. His father was a wool merchant, which is why later his family had to move to a different country. They moved to Vienna, where he would spend almost the rest of his life when he was only 4 years old. His parents were Jewish, but he considered himself atheist and never really practiced his faith. In 1873, when he was only 17 years old, he started studying medicine at the University of Vienna, and in 1881, he received his medical degree. He started working at the Vienna General Hospital, where he would treat patients with hysteria alongside Dr. Joseph Brauer by using hypnosis to recall painful events. He went to Paris to be a student of neurologist Jean Charcot in 1885. He returned to Vienna the next year, where he set up a private practice where he would treat patients with nervous and brain disorders. The next year he got engaged and married Martha Verney, a Jewish woman with whom he has 6 children. The youngest of them, Anna Freud, would later become a famous psychoanalyst herself. He started developing his theories. In 1897 began an intense treatment for himself, and in the year 1900 he published his most famous piece of work, The Interpretation of Dreams, where he analyzed dreams as a product of unconscious desires and experiences. In the year 1902, he started working at the Universität Wien, or University of Vienna, as a professor of neuropathology, where he would work the rest of his productive life. Many in the medical establishment disagreed with his theories, but also many pupils and followers started gathering around him. So much that in 1910 the International Psychoanalytical Association was founded, with Carl Jung, an associate of Freud's, as its president, but he would later break apart and develop his own theories. Then World War I happened, and Freud spent lots of his time searching for applications of his theories in art, history, anthropology, and literature. In 1923, he published what we now know as the psychoanalytical structure of the mind in Das Ich und das Es, the ego and the internal desires, where the mind is divided into the ego, the superego, and the internal desires. Freud smoked a crazy amount of 30 cigars daily, which led to him having jaw cancer diagnosed in 1923. In 1933, the Nazis burned lots of Freud's books, and in 1938 they finally occupied Austria. As we recall, Freud's family was Jewish, so he knew he was in great danger, and fled Austria for London in the UK with his wife and his daughter Anna, where he would spend the rest of his life. Now this was a huge deal because Freud had a phobia for traveling. He was never far from his house, which meant that moving to London must have been amazingly difficult. He also had a phobia for talented men? Okay. Boo! Nah, just kidding. In 1939, and after some astonishing 30 operations, Freud finally died from his jaw cancer condition.
Created using Powtoon.